Hi everybody! Finding gratitude in any circumstance is key. How can you be grateful for the hard stuff? Are you grateful for the hard stuff? I know for myself, learning how to be grateful in all things, as the scriptures say, is so important. So let's dive into some of those scriptures. All right. Gratitude triggers a law that God has put forth in our world, in this universe, and it does something. There are several scriptures that I'm going to share with you. These scriptures to me are really profound when you really understand why it matters. And he who receiveth all things with thankfulness shall be made glorious. In 1 Thessalonians 5:18 it reads, "In everything give thanks, for this is the will of God in Christ Jesus concerning you." Okay, not in some things, not in a few things, in everything give thanks. We want to key into that idea, that concept of being grateful for all things. Giving thanks always for all things unto God and the Father in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ. That's Ephesians 5:20. Giving thanks always. Even when it's hard? Wait, what? Does he really mean that? How can we give thanks for hard things? How can we give thanks when we can't pay our bills the next month, or when our mom passes away, or when our siblings are hurting or struggling? How do we give thanks in all things? How do we have gratitude always? This is the question. Psalms 136:1. Oh, give thanks unto the Lord, for he is good. Mosiah 2:19. Oh, how you ought to thank your heavenly King. And then my favorite verse about being thankful, because I think it gets to the crux of why gratitude matters. Be careful for nothing, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known unto God. Okay, what does that mean? When I first read this, it was after I understood the power and the principles and the laws of gratitude. And so when I read it, I was like, oh my gosh, there it is. It's amazing. This verse teaches it. So now we want to understand it. When we give thanks before things come, we are activating the law of unseen help. We're activating principles that draw events, opportunities, experiences to us. And so that is what Paul is talking about. And Paul, I love this story of Paul. He is in prison when he teaches us this. He has been put in prison unjustly. It is the worst of prisons you can go into. You're basically left to die. And he is saying in this hardship to be afflicted for nothing, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known. So we're going to be grateful before we get something. We're going to be grateful before it happens. So when we're going through something hard, we're going to activate this law of gratitude when we put off the natural man, because the natural man is an enemy to God. We're going to put off the natural man, and we're going to lean into this place of gratitude, knowing that this thing is not going to last forever, knowing that there is a purpose in this thing, knowing that going through this is helping me exercise my spiritual muscles, and it is helping me to become a better person. All tribulation, all challenges, all circumstances, when we turn to God, will help us to become more like him. And we activate this unseen heavenly help that is waiting for us because we are living this law of gratitude. I have learned that. I know this principle is true. Okay, so I want you right now, think of a time when something disappointing turned out to be a hidden blessing. This perspective, it's not just cute or comforting, but it is how we access these laws of success, abundance, and peace. Okay? So gratitude isn't just a virtue, it's a principle of power. This is why gratitude matters. It is a principle of power. It's not just a virtue. There is an actual power that comes into your life when you choose gratitude over fear, over stress, over worry. When we sit in gratitude, it releases feelings of being stuck. And it's the energy that puts things in motion. It makes things start to happen. I want to quote Leslie Householder. You can never get ahead while you're feeling sorry for yourself or feeling sorry for anybody else. What you think about and think about, you bring about. So why not access this power of gratitude and start thinking and believing and thinking before it even comes. Because guess what? That is the activation of a law that makes things come. It brings about opportunities, events, blessings, people. It is amazing. So I want you to take some time to write down something that's bothering you. Okay, right now, just what is hard in your life? What difficulty are you going through or have gone through, and you just can't seem to move through it, and it's just still just eating at you, causing you aches and pains, and emotionally, physically, spiritually? What is it? Take some time to write that down. And now I want you to ask yourself, and you can pause the video if you need to, but I want you to ask yourself, what is something that I can be grateful for, even in this situation? Okay? So just like the crutches, Pollyanna was grateful she didn't need the crutches, okay? And then what possible hidden blessings might this represent? There are so many things, so many times that I thought that it was a bad thing, and it ended up being so good. It ended up bringing about blessings and opportunities and experiences that I wouldn't have had. I went through 9 miscarriages. I tried to have more kids. I knew that there were more kids, but my body was incapable of carrying a baby full term after having 4 biological children. But I knew that there was more, and I couldn't shake that feeling. And the Spirit just kept working on me. And over time, I had this very strong prompting that we should adopt. I had never considered adoption. I don't think I would have ever been open to adoption had we not experienced those miscarriages. Those were hard times. My faith faltered. I was angry. I really struggled during that time. But I always turned back to God. So if you're going through something that's hard, continue to turn back to God. Continue to go through the struggle of your faith crisis or whatever it might look like for you. And continue to just keep turning to Him. Because on the other side of that is really amazing growth, really amazing opportunities of power and increase of spirituality. And me recording this today wouldn't be happening without these hard things. These hard things helped me to learn the things I needed to learn so that I can now share with you what I'm sharing. And because of that process, we ended up adopting 2 little girls, biological sisters, and it wouldn't have happened had we not gone through those hard things. And I'm so grateful that God leads us along, that He takes the hard things in our lives and He helps them to become good. He helps it to become our learning, our growth. And I know when I have really learned a lesson is because it no longer causes me pain and it has become my wisdom. I can still feel sad for those lost babies. I still miss them. You know, it's just a part of it, but it's not a pain that doesn't feel like there's purpose. It feels like there's been so much growth, and I'm so grateful for it. I'm so grateful for the experiences I had as I went through that, because it taught me things I could not have learned otherwise. And it brought me to adopting 2 beautiful little girls that I am so grateful for. So what we're going to do is every time we feel like we don't have anything to be grateful for, we're going to say, I'm going to enact the laws of gratitude and I'm going to get unstuck, because that is what will happen. I love this quote. It says, our encounters with reality and disappointments are in fact vital stages in the development of our maturity and understanding. Bruce C. Hagen said that. And I loved that. When I read that, I thought, it's so true. The realities of life and the disappointments are just part of our existence. It's stages to help us develop, to mature, and to gain understanding. Everything begins with a thought that is believed and then moves into form. I want you to remember that. Everything begins with a thought that is believed and then begins to move into form. What if the thing that you are frustrated about is raw material for your very next miracle? Have you ever considered that? That very thing that you think is so bad, that very thing that you think is so hard, might be the material that is going to bring about this amazing new miracle in your life, a new opportunity, a new privilege, a new experience. So I really want you to ask yourself, how can I be grateful? How can I learn to be grateful for the good and the bad, the easy and the hard? Have you ever considered that? This is something that I have leaned into and I absolutely love applying in my life, because what I have discovered is that the hard things I'm going through, no matter what they are, is an opportunity for me to increase in my capacity as a human being, as a beautiful child of God that is divine, that is beloved, that has purpose, that has potential. And when I am angry or frustrated or upset about the difficult things I'm going through, it takes a lot longer to get through them. You'll get through them, but it just takes longer. And I have learned that living in gratitude and seeing the purpose in all things, it changes things. Seeing the purpose in all things, it changed my life. Being grateful for all things has changed my life. When my boys were in a car accident, I had not realized the impact that this shift had made in my mind. And as I heard that they were in a car accident and I hear my son saying, "Mom, it's bad, Wesley's eyes," and I'm like, what happened, right? And so I tell my husband, the boys were in an accident, we grab our girls and jump in the car. All three of our boys were in that car accident. And as we're driving there, I could not believe that as the thoughts came, the normal thoughts you would have, oh no, this shouldn't have happened. Why did this have to happen? I shouldn't have sent my son to go pick up my boys. It's my fault. How did this happen? God, why did you let this happen? All the thoughts that naturally normally come in these experiences, and oh no, this is going to be bad. My son's going to be blind for the rest of his life. All the different things. The thoughts came, but they held no power, because I knew that giving them power would make me miserable. And so the thoughts came and they went. They came and they went. And I didn't give them power anymore. And on the way, I drove with purpose and with a prayer in my heart, asking God to help us to see the beauty in this, to see the good in this, because I know there is purpose in all things. I know that God can help us to grow and become more through this experience. And I knew that with all of my heart. And so we get there and the airbag had deployed and it caused his face to get scalped, his eyes to get damaged. He couldn't open them. The doctor at the hospitals prized them open. Wesley can't see anything. He just sees, shadows, and he doesn't know if he's ever going to see again. And the doctor says only time will tell. And so for that week, that whole week, I remember feeling so much peace in my heart. I remember being so grateful for the chance that I had to serve my little boy, to take him to the bathroom, to feed him, to walk him. And I had got so much joy in watching my kids take care of him, and friends and family and neighbors come and shower him with love and support and courage. It was such a beautiful time. It really was. I believe that because of my courage and strength, that energy was reflected to my whole family. And because of that, he was in so much peace. And he was funny, and he kept leaning into the positive aspects of this experience. And over time, his body started to heal. And I will never forget the moment that he was like barely opening his eyes. And he was like, "Mom, I can see." And we were so grateful. We could not believe it. He has scarring on his retina, and yet he has no blind spots. He has no lasting damage. I do believe that because we were grateful for the experience, we were grateful for the opportunity of growth, we were grateful that we believed that he could see again, and we prayed in gratitude for that blessing, knowing that God would bring about whatever Wesley needed in his life at that time. And I was willing to accept that he could be blind for the rest of his life, and I still felt grateful, and I still felt so much love and peace through this experience. And I believe that we activated unseen help, unseen power, because we were so grateful, because we were living in that choice of accepting and loving what is. This is another beautiful quote from Leslie Householder. She said, "Contained in every disappointment is a seed of equal or greater benefit." Okay? Just think about that. So all disappointments have a seed of equal or even greater benefit. That's amazing. So if we will continue to apply this principle of gratitude, we are leading to something equal or greater by living that way. Isn't that exciting? Everything begins with a thought that is believed, and then it moves into form. There's a spiritual creation and then a physical creation. And the way we activate the physical creation is by being grateful for it in the spiritual creation. I love this principle. It is so empowering. I want you to just consider, what if the very thing that you are frustrated about is the raw material for your next miracle? Pollyanna, she didn't ignore the crutches. She redefined them. She saw something that she could be grateful for, and it brought her happiness. And that's how this works. What can we be grateful for in the hard? And what if this is the game that we play every day, all day long in our lives? The glad game. What if we were to apply that every day in our lives? And who else would be affected by you because you're choosing to live that way? Think about your kids. Think about your family. Think about your neighbors. Think about your community. Think about the world. If we could all live this principle of being glad and playing the glad game all the time. I got pulled away from my camera and I'm back. When we key into being grateful for everything, even the hard things, life changes. I promise you that as you practice this principle of being grateful for the hard things, like literally seeing the challenges, the difficulties, the things you don't want to happen as an opportunity of practicing gratitude. The greatest thing we can do, and the prayer that we can all have in our hearts, is to learn how to express gratitude in all things, to truly be grateful. And this practice is how we find joy in the journey. This is how we find peace each day and live in confidence. One of the things that will really help you is to know who God is, to know that He really is aware of you. He knows the struggles you're facing. He knows what you're going through. And He's not withholding blessings. He is truly preparing you to receive something better. So this is the invitation to start a gratitude journal. And I know you've heard this before, but we're going to be grateful for the hard, and we're going to find how we can be grateful for those hard things. So I want you to, for the next 7 days, or even all the way up through Thanksgiving, I want you to write the things that you can be grateful for. And maybe, and really like to up-level yourself, key into the things that you don't like and see how you can be grateful for those. If you're struggling to be grateful, if you're struggling to feel love in your heart, just spend some time pondering and thinking about how you can love more and what you can be grateful for. So what I have discovered is, if I want to change, I have to think greater than how I feel. If we do not think greater than how we feel, we will not change. And if we want to change, then that feeling has to be so profound that it's hard to talk ourselves out of doing anything different. I have learned this power of gratitude. I love living like this. I am addicted to this way of living. It is way more fun than living in that victim mentality, than living in that woe is me, life is hard mentality. This is way more fun. This is more challenging, to put off that natural man and to be grateful for the hard things. It's way more fun. I promise you. I want you to try it. I want you to try for the next 2 weeks, or before Thanksgiving happens. Try this and just see what happens inside you. Life will change. As you do this work, you have to really work at it. You have to change what's happening here, or you will not change, okay? So that feeling has to be so profound. And you have to know that there is so much more in store for your life, that great things are coming. You have to feel that so much that you know it's going to happen at some point, that all this hard that's happening over here is a path to something really great and beautiful over here. It always is. There is always, again, that seed of equal or greater value. The challenges are that seed. So we're going to start practicing this, and we're going to start getting our body to stop responding to the hard, to the negative. And we can change how we feel as we do this work. It is hard to know what voices to listen to, what messages are going to help you, what thoughts are going to inspire you and lead you along. And that is why I have created Christ-centered AI assistants that are there to help you figure this out. You will go from feeling confused and anxious to peace and clarity. You can become a beta tester for free and lock in founder member pricing because this is going to change your life. Click the link below to sign up and get started using AI assistants that are founded in incredible works that bring about amazing responses. They are incredible tools and I am so excited for you to try them out. Happy Thanksgiving. Have a great week.